Ronnie.
Hi, everybody. Monday morning, 10 a.m., Fox 10 Talks. This chair right here, Celeste is going to be occupying it. And we got a treat for you because Mike Pache joins as well. Hello, Big Mikey.
How we doing? How we doing?
Doing great. Okay, if you haven't seen the video of Waymo's Gone Wild, you got to check that out. And a sleep study came out about really what millions of us are doing wrong, at least some of us. It's all coming up. Fox 10 Talks. Don't go away. 10 o'clock. Fox 10 Talks. Ron and Celeste. Today we are joined by well, I guess you could almost call it a celebrity commentator. It's Big Mike Pache from LiveNOW from Fox. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning. I love the intros. Yeah, it's great.
Yes. Well, we're glad to have you here. And look who also joins us. Well, it is Celeste.
Hi. Good morning. I thought you were going to say celebrity stud.
I'll take all of the above.
I was going to leave that introduction to you.
I'm happy to take care of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, let's talk about some of these stories, you guys. This image of the mid-air crash, two military, highly valuable, very expensive aircraft crash in the skies over Idaho this weekend. We've got that story coming up for you today. Also today on FTT, on Fox 10 Talks. I'm going to punch up that next graphic. Here we go. This new sleep study, what millions are doing wrong. Oh, boy. Plus, maybe we can all learn something from that. Plus, did the pronunciation of the hantavirus change? What is it?
It's Hanta, Ron.
Is it Hanta or Hanta? Believe me, I have dug into this, Celeste, and I think we have some answers for you. Plus, Waymo's gone wild. If you haven't seen this video, it is really something.
You know what I think about when you say Waymo's gone wild?
What? Yeah.
Mike? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you going to reference Girls Gone
Oh, you're talking about the old infomercials from back in the day.
They weren't infomercial. They were real video.
Oh, I know they were. Yeah, but they would come on. 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to those infomercials?
And people are like,
hold on, Dave.
What is an infomercial?
I'm innocently asking. Anyway, all right, let's get right to it here at 10 a.m. Let's talk about what we have learned so far about this mid-air crash. Mountain, oh, look, right there. So often we see precision, and this was so unusual, but look at that. The ejector seats worked perfectly, and did you realize, we time it right there. It's literally a matter of seconds before that plane goes down, and it looks like everyone ejected and got out of there safely. Here's the story so far. So it was two U.S. Navy EA-18 Growlers assigned to the Electronic Attack Squadron out on Whidbey Island, the Naval Air Station out there just off Seattle. And they were performing in an aerial demonstration at this air show. And really, Mike, when you think about it, we've all seen it in person, or we've gone to see all the video of what happens out there at Luke Air Force Base for Luke Days. Or we've seen the Blue Angels in flight.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
This just never happens.
No, and it gets so close, you're thinking, okay, would be horrible if it happens, but this one actually did. And you know what's remarkable about this video? Yeah. It's almost like you're watching it in real time, but it almost looks like that moment when they have impact that it's in slow-mo, because I always thought, okay, if there's going to be a mid-air collision, these planes, if they hit, it's going to explode immediately.
Yes.
But look at right here. It just looks like they're sort of like hanging on by each other, and then the ejectors come out.
Oh, and then so now this time when we were watching it, I guess what I realized was there are little explosions that you see on the aircraft, and Mike, I'm sure you're right. They are designed to stay as intact and non-flammable for as long as possible. But you do see, and I think maybe it'll cycle through one more time, where the ejectors are engaged, and you actually see the little sign of the explosion. Watch
touch
closely.
Right now. They're touched.
Okay, and now watch, and you're going to see.
Wow.
So right there. That's what's happening.
And I
just incredible.
I bet it happened so very quick. Like, I'm sure one of them was like, we're stuck. Oh, eject. And then everybody's got to eject so quick.
Yes.
I wonder if that audio is ever FOIA'd and then released.
Yeah. Tell everybody what a FOIA is, Celeste.
Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah, it should be, right?
Yeah, where you can, as a member of the media or the press, you can request those recordings and they'll release them. We don't have there's no deadline that the agency has to meet to release them, but it would be interesting to hear the audio. From what it was like inside the cockpit.
So of course they're being medically evaluated, but it looks like, and that was right by first responders on the scene, but it looks like everybody's going to be okay. Really incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so, Celeste, Mike's a Midwestern guy. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from the heart of the country.
Yeah, he is.
He's very down to earth.
Yep. Chicago guy through and through.
Bringing the Midwest values of Arizona.
Yeah, but let's look at this video because, Mike, I don't know, you living in that part of the country, if you've ever experienced a tornado directly or had some maybe, nearby where you lived growing up. But these pictures out of Nebraska show just the power of these tornadoes. It's obviously taken by a guy here who is, Sean Waugh. And, I mean, the pictures are just... it's so precise to show you the damage that can be done. And there were some homes that were destroyed.
Oh, I know. And it just kind of just shows you the power of these storms as they continue to rip and churn here. But that's incredible video. I never saw any when I was living in the Chicago area, but the first 2 years of my reporting career, spent time in Joplin, Missouri.
Oh.
And that was ripe for conditions because we were right on the border of Kansas and Missouri. And you'd get some strong storms. And luckily, I left that market 6 months before the horrible Joplin tornado.
There was that documentary that was produced.
It was,
oh my gosh,
I know.
Scary.
6 months after you left that house.
Yeah, I got out 6 months before, and it ripped our apartment complex. Not only the apartment that I was in, but the whole complex was gone too.
So when you have a house in the Midwest, a lot of times they'll have those, basements to kind of seek, refuge. When you're in an apartment, do they have anything like that?
They didn't have anything, no. So you had to go to the stairwells and hopefully
just hunker down and see.
What was the warning system like? Was there a siren that went off in town?
Yeah, there would be a siren system if a funnel was spotted or anything like that. We did hear those, but yeah.
Well, I was in the South once with Renee. We were on vacation in Alabama. It was as calm as, anything you can imagine. And yet they had all these warnings that a tornado was headed our way. Actually, I think it might have been a hurricane now that I think about it. But as we checked into the hotel, they gave us a map. And they said, when it hits tonight, if it's bad, here's how you exit your room and get down into the basement. As time's gone on, I feel like in the last maybe 10 to 15 years, they just, they have better planning.
Yeah,
and warning systems.
And I think you're right. For people who live in this part of the country, we were flying into Indianapolis. This is maybe like a year ago. And this woman I was sitting next to was like a grandma and like maybe 65, talking about her grandkids. And so she says, and we're coming in maybe like 20 minutes to landing. She's like, my husband just texted me. I guess we got a tornado warning in Indianapolis and in just northeast of town or something like that, where she lives. And I said, oh my gosh. And for me, an Arizona girl, like obviously we have monsoon and those get crazy with high winds. But I thought to myself, oh my goodness, like I kind of was a little startled, but she was very calm.
Okay.
And she said, we get a lot of these warnings, and we just kind of know we have an idea of what to do when we get the warning, and I'm not real concerned about it. Wow. And especially if the pilot isn't saying anything, maybe it's moving in a different direction.
Right.
But it was interesting, her husband, they just kind of know. If you're from the Midwest, it's like a way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, Mike, well, we're glad you're in Arizona and you don't have to deal with this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
It can be a problem. As a matter of fact, did you see the video of the Dust Devil? Have you seen this yet, Mike?
No.
Okay.
Look at that.
So it's a youth baseball game, and it happened just up in the Northeast Valley over the weekend.
Wow.
Sean Snydergaard shared the video from this game up in the Fountain Hills area on Saturday. And, you know, when I first heard, oh, they actually had to stop the game for a while because of a dust devil, I thought, a dust devil? But you look at it now and you appreciate the fact that they can be pretty forceful.
Oh, geez, yeah. I mean, look, and look at it. It's almost like the dust devil said, you know what, I want to go all the way to first base. Look at this. Crossing home. Here we go, right out to first base.
Sure, right? Good luck to the catcher trying to hit the first baseman right there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Wow.
All right, so one more video here before we go to break. You guys at home, if you have not seen, you're going to want to watch this. Waymo's Gone Wild. We had this story earlier this morning, and I could not stop laughing, Celeste. So this neighborhood in Atlanta is just fed up. They say that empty Waymos have been circling their cul-de-sac for weeks, one after another. It's like somebody got into the wiring of the cars or the software or something. They just show up day after day, and basically it's almost like they're racing.
Oh my goodness. Look how fast that other one was going.
I know. You'd be a little fed up if you lived in that neighborhood and you're just trying to back out your car and get over to the grocery store.
Well, it's almost like this street is a magnet for these Waymos, right? Like they're just attracted to this poor street.
Well, and I wonder if they are. I mentioned this earlier. If this particular neighborhood, I wonder if it's unique for some reason. For example, when Waymo was expanding in Phoenix, our neighborhood was one of the first to have them.
Oh, really?
Because we do not have stop signs in our neighborhood.
Oh.
And so, and we have a lot of curvy roads.
Yeah.
And so Waymo worked with our neighborhood with our neighborhood association, and they said, we're going to put our Waymos in your neighborhood and test them to see what it's like at those intersections without stop signs.
Yeah.
Can they watch for the cars coming in the other directions? And so maybe there's something unique about this neighborhood that we just don't know about.
No, but Ron and Celeste, you know what the ironic part would be for this neighborhood? It's if someone wanted a Waymo that day, I bet they would be not there.
Yeah,
right? Like
so
you just,
true.
Of all the days,
exactly.
you see
Murphy's Law.
right?
Your wait is 25 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
my
but wait a minute,
goodness.
they're here left and right.
So listen to what Shaylin says. This is about the tornado. She says, I was an Arizona girl in Virginia. She's in the chat, she says, when a tornado warning hit, the weather was horrible and then went calm. The sky turned almost green and I heard a train sound. The tornado touched down 2 miles away and it sounded like a train.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Shaylin,
Okay.
thank you so much
Shaylin,
for
thanks
sharing.
yeah,
and we're
sharing
glad
that
you're
story.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, thanks for hanging out with us
No
today.
problem, guys.
Bring
You
it,
guys
give
take
us
care.
a-
Yes,
Good.
start it off.
Love a good Monday with
Yes.
Mike, that's for sure. And up next, are we edging closer to full-on war with Iran again? We've got an expert who's got a very interesting take. That's next. are looking at a little preview of the Mystery Cam, which comes up at 10:30 on Fox 10 Talks. Hey, everybody, it's Ron, Celeste, and we've still got 45 minutes. This sleep study coming up a little bit later, what millions of people are doing wrong.
Uh-huh.
We already showed the Waymo's Gone Wild.
Yeah.
And then in about 4 minutes, we have a Middle Eastern expert. There are a lot of concerns that we're edging back to full-on conflict.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get his take on it. It'll be really interesting.
It is going to be interesting. A couple of quick comments from the chat, Ron, on the issue of the Waymo. A couple of you are saying, you know what, I would never actually take a Waymo.
Oh.
And let's see, Linda says, yep, no Waymo for us either. Folks just aren't. Deborah says, no Waymos for me either.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are saying, I think they want total control of what's happening.
Right.
Because then remember the story where you're in the Waymo and it just kept going around in circles?
That poor guy just wanted to get out and catch a flight.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, my main problem with the Waymos, I've only looked once, but I was going to grab an Uber to get from the station to the airport, which is just a few miles. And so I thought, well, I'll check Waymo because they don't have to pay a driver. It's got to be quite a bit less. It was more.
Yeah.
It was more expensive to take the Waymo. So I'm like, well, I'm out.
Yeah. I think some people like the Waymo because it's peaceful. Like there's nothing, you know what I mean? You're not talking to anybody. You get to choose your own music.
Yeah. Hey, Celeste, this heartbreaking story coming in from Flagstaff is really just sort of mind-boggling. Our Irene Snyder's been covering it this morning. She's just on her way back into the valley after reporting up there. Irene, what have you learned in the time that you spent up in Flagstaff this morning? Stand by.
Well, guys, we really don't have a whole lot of information right now. So we went out there this morning, and really what we have confirmed from the Flagstaff Police Department is that there was an infant inside one of their hotel rooms, and that infant was found dead yesterday morning. Now, we don't know exactly what led up to this, but we do know there were 2 other children that were also in that room. Now, they were unharmed, but again, the infant was found dead inside the room. So that's, for the most part, the extent of what we know. So Flagstaff Police haven't released any information this morning, and then the actual hotel itself was called La Quinta, and we're not able to speak with any of their management either. So we're kind of in this point where we're waiting for Flagstaff Police to release new information. As you guys mentioned, we're on our way back now to the Phoenix area, but we do have another crew that's already up there in Flagstaff now that'll be taking over the story too, so providing more updates throughout the day. But just a disturbing and heartbreaking story, as you mentioned.
Well, I feel like there's such interest in this case, Irene. Do we know anything at all? Were there not? Because so far in the reporting, I don't hear anything about adults either in the room or the hotel. It sounds like it was just 3 children and the youngest had passed.
They didn't release any information as far as the parents, any identities, any suspects. We've asked, have there been any arrests? We haven't gotten any of that information from police, but we have been asking, and we'll get it for you as soon as we're able to.
So did they give any indication in terms of, obviously someone had to check into the hotel room. So did who the hotel rooms?
Oh, that's a good point.
Are they looking into that at all? Did they mention anything about that?
Really, all we have from Flagstaff Police is the press release that they sent out yesterday, and they weren't answering any questions this morning. And then as far as the hotel, they just basically referred us to reach out to corporate. So the management there at the hotel isn't speaking to us. So I would imagine that they have, someone who checked in the hotel room. Exactly, we don't know if it was parents, if it was any other kind of guardian, or who else it could have been.
One last question. I'm trying to visualize where that hotel is, Irene. Is that when you first pull into town, when you come off the freeway?
Not that far from downtown, no, La Quinta. It's right by, I'm trying to remember the street it's off of, but it's right by a Walmart there and kind of by that Little America Hotel. Not hotel, Flagstaff, kind of near the downtown, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of hotel row. Irene, thanks very much. Her signal just breaking up.
Yeah.
But boy, hopefully just watch future editions of Fox 10 News. Hopefully we'll get a lot more answers.
Yeah.
Because the story is just, it's kind of mind-boggling.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's so heartbreaking.
Okay, 10:20. And so we have a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute. This is Jason Campbell, Celeste. By the way, we lined him up last week thinking, well, there'll probably be some pretty big developments over the weekend. It always seems like that's exactly the case. Jason, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Ron.
Okay, we know you've been a guest on here for us before. How alarming was this report over the weekend that a drone, suspected to be an Iranian drone, was flown toward the UAE and right at one of their nuclear plants?
Yes, I think all of these reports are unsettling when they come in. Unfortunately, over the last couple of months, they've become all too common, and I think that's clearly Iran sending a signal that it has the ability to reach some of the key fragile infrastructure throughout the Gulf that President Trump has threatened to strike in Iran. So as this back and forth continues to go on, largely rhetorically during the last few weeks, but also now through sort of increasing actions, you're seeing both sides trying to demonstrate some level of threat to the other side in the hopes of again at some point attaining a favorable position in a post-war environment.
I think for a lot of Americans, we just want gas prices to go down. We want grocery prices to go down. We want to feel a little bit more ease about this whole situation. How does that come about? And does it take months, years, or has just with the global relations that have taken place now, has that completely shifted in a new direction?
Well, I think at the macro level, I don't see that happening until there is some sort of a broader political resolution in the Gulf. Right now, what we're seeing is obviously very reduced tensions and strikes here, but really it's a ceasefire in name only as the United States continues to undertake a naval blockade and Iran continues to limit, if not cease, any movement of shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. So right now we've got this, uncomfortable stasis and really, conflicting reports on how close either side is to, proverbially blinking to come to some resolution. So I think while this stasis continues, we're going to see high oil prices. And while I'm not an expert on energy prices or production, some of my colleagues who I've had a number of conversations with say that this is not a simple switch you just flip on and off. Even if there is a return to some semblance of normalcy, it's going to take weeks, if not months, to reach the similar production levels that we saw back in February.
Jason, 1 week ago, I think it was exactly 1 week ago, there was a report that came out from Axios that there was a kind of a one-page memo that seemed as though both sides were in agreement on it getting closer to ending all of this, and that they would then, it'd be two-stage, and then they would begin the negotiations secondarily about their nuclear program. Within 24 hours, someone within the Iranian hierarchy decided to take one of their ships and purposely try to block or run the blockade. What's going on inside Iran where it sounds like some people in the government do want to come to some sort of ending, a resolution, but it sounds like somebody or some group wants it to continue?
Yeah, I mean, this has really been a back and forth volley, again, largely rhetorical over the last few weeks between Washington and Tehran in terms of how close we are to some sort of a political resolution and what one side may or may not have agreed to. I think the one-page memo, it was reported from the Washington side of things that it was submitted through the Islamabad channel, but the Iranian regime was pretty quick to refute, at least parts of that, and really insist on what is a non-starter for not just Washington, but I think more globally, is the sustained control over the Strait of Hormuz and the ability to instill some sort of a tolling system on all shipments that go through. So, looking at, again, Iran trying to run a blockade, I mean, again, this is they're trying to signal to the U.S. and to the world that they remain a formidable foe, that they, despite threats to hit their critical infrastructure and escalate the war, that they remain willing and able to press back against the U.S. here. So it's as much about signaling as it is about trying to attain any minor tactical victory.
All right, that's Jason Campbell, everybody. He's a senior fellow with a lot of good insight at the Middle East Institute. Jason, thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great day.
It just makes you wonder, Celeste. The president's approval ratings are as low as they've been. And these gas prices are having such an impact here. It makes you wonder how much time, what is the window that the U.S. has to try to figure out a way to end this thing and bring gas prices back down before November?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I think, tough. Like he said, it's going to potentially take months, in fact. Here's the interesting thing. I don't think, other than maybe George W. after September 11th,
yes,
when we really saw the country come together. I don't know if there's ever been another president who received high ratings during time of war. I think anytime you have a time of war situation, I think people don't like it.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. And they sure don't like $5 gas. I mean, unless you're living in Seattle or California where it's close to $6.50.
Well, here in Arizona, FYI, we have seen higher than this during Biden's, when he was president in 2022.
All right. So here's what the poll question looks like today. Should the U.S. restart the attacks on Iran? 72% say, yeah, they're just stalling for time. It's obvious. It could force them to make a deal. 27% say no. Don't escalate. Look for a way out. 1% maybe, but give the blockade more time.
All right. Lots of people talking about this on YouTube right now. I just refreshed 1.4 thousand votes on this one. Yes, Iran is stalling for time. It'll force them to make a deal. 43%. 51% say no, don't escalate this conflict. Look for a way out. And 6% say maybe, but not yet. Give the blockade more time to work.
All right, now everybody hold your horses. Dave's coming up, but we have a commercial break.
What horses, Ron? Where are the horses?
All the horsepower of this whole show, as a matter of fact. You'll hear his Big D feedback. But first, coming up next, airlines have banned a lot of things, but this is a new one. What to know if you fly Southwest.
And the mystery camera.
Give us your guess. Well, we're right back at it with a mystery cam. Celeste, we're getting some good guesses.
We are. So we have a Missouri from Dave's Camping Adventures. He's one of our viewers from early on. Give his YouTube page a good like because he's got all kinds of good stuff going on there. We also have a Missouri from Linda Monterth. We do have a Kentucky from Bean Miguel.
Okay.
And what are your thoughts, Ron, on this mystery? If you're new, by the way, you can guess where you think this is. We don't have technically anything to give you as a winner.
Why is that, Celeste? Don't we have a prize drawer or something around here?
I think we've got some fanny packs somewhere. But you get bragging rights, which is huge.
Yeah, sure. You know, when it first popped up, I thought, oh, that's Louisville, Kentucky. But then I said to myself, I feel like that skyline is bigger than this. We do have one where it's a camera on the Indiana side looking back into Kentucky. But that's a railroad bridge, not a big freeway. And the one for Louisville is they have a big freeway that goes back and forth.
Okay. So what do you think?
I'm going to go with Thomas. He thinks it's the Euphrates River, Celeste. So pick your favorite Middle Eastern country if you have one.
Is that the river where Moses was found in a Moses basket? Was it the Euphrates? I can't remember.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go with I'm going to say Iowa. I believe. Oh, John Schock. He said Iowa on this one.
I do say one thing. When Linda and Louie both agree, then I'm going with them, so Missouri. So you're going Iowa, I'm going Missouri. What do we know,
I'm
Celeste?
actually going to go with Burger Boy. He says funnel fries with dip. So here is your mystery camera, and let's unveil Bossier City, Louisiana.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Oh, come on.
So what
is
that
it Bossier?
means,
Yes.
Well, yeah. So what that means is it's across the river from, that's probably Baton Rouge, because it's not New Orleans. And now that I look at it, I see that big football stadium just a little bit off on the horizon over there. So Baton Rouge, of course, is where LSU is, even though the camera is right across the river.
Yes.
So that's what I'm thinking.
So Bossier.
Yeah.
Bossier City.
All right. So there you go. Thank you for, it's weird. That was like the first time in a long time we didn't have anybody guessing the actual city.
I know. I mean,
no winners today.
We did have someone come through with Shreveport, Dave's Camping Adventures, but it was after we already gave the answer.
Oh, maybe it is Shreveport,
Is it Shreveport?
not Baton Rouge. All right. Well, there you go. Okay, so as promised, everybody, Big D has been looking at your comments. We already got 1,000 votes on YouTube. What are folks saying, Dave?
That's right. So many good comments. You can always comment on fox10phoenix.com/poll as well as on YouTube. Somebody in Buckeye says Iran is stalling so they can build up their armory. No more waiting. Take out the uranium, open the strait, and move on to other important things. Denise Wilson, 4449, says President Trump has been looking for a way out. He has been trying to deal with these people now for months. I believe they would have normally made a deal, but for some reason feel empowered. Due to outside influence behind his control, he may have to take the next step and just hammer them. Douglas Jordan says this conflict should have been over already. Instead, a non-existent ceasefire keeps going while Iran rebuilds, rearms, and gets closer to a nuclear bomb. Sem4502 says keep cutting the head off the snake. Leadership change in Iran now. And finally, Last Commodore 9651 asks, why don't all those who support this war go and fight it themselves? Really interesting comments. Keep them coming, guys.
Hey, Dave, before we let you go, did you see this story about Southwest Airlines? They banned something. I've never heard of an airline banning this particular thing before, Celeste, but hey, it's 2026. They're banning robots.
Well, the thing is, this guy brings a robot onto the plane.
Yes.
Buys the robot its own seat.
Right.
And he says, you don't have any rules against robots on planes, so they had to come out with this thing.
Right.
And by the way, did anybody notice that Big D has a new haircut?
Oh, let's show it off,
Let's
everybody.
go. New hairdo.
Good. Big
New
D.
hairdo alert.
Sharp looking.
Well, thank you, friends.
High and tight, baby.
Yeah.
Well, you know who also looks incredibly good is Eric Wilson from TMZ.
Oh, yes,
we can
he
prove
does.
that right here. Look at this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Eric, look at you, buddy.
Eric's like, flattery will get you nowhere. How you doing, Eric? Can you hear us okay?
You're muted.
Oh, somebody said you were muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did.
3. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I think I can hear you now.
You're looking good,
buddy.
Oh, I still can't hear him.
Yeah, we're still working on trying to hear your. Give us a thumbs up. How are you doing?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Eric, you're muted on your end.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think you're muted, Eric? What do you think?
It shows that TMZ is muted.
Oh, okay. It does. On our end, it shows you're muted. Do you want to punch that one other button over there? Or?
I don't have any buttons in front of me. What are we doing in the booth here? What are we doing in the booth?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Nice. All right.
We got you now.
We're good? Oh, all right. There we go. They weren't ready for you. It was so sudden.
Oh, believe
They were jealous of the compliment.
And now we know you really love us, so it's all good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Think I would show up here every Monday if I didn't?
Oh, thank you.
Right. You'd be working the 4-day work week. Hey.
Yeah.
Luigi Mangione, you guys have covered this story right from the start. There have been some new developments today. Tell us all about. In fact, I believe this is new video from the courtroom today.
Yeah, he's in court today, and a big win for their team. Karen Agnifilo there, his lawyer, and they were able to get rid of some of the evidence that they found here in this shot here from Altoona, Pennsylvania at the McDonald's when they first arrested Luigi. And you see here he hands them an ID. The ID was fake, and they had no warrant, and they had no probable cause to know that this was the guy from the shooting in New York City. So when they went through the backpack in the McDonald's, the judge is saying that this was illegal. They could not do this. They had no reason to search him. And the items that they pulled out of the backpack and found during the McDonald's search, they've made those inadmissible in the trial now. Those include the magazine clip from the gun, his passport, and a computer chip. So this is a big win for their team, but it's not the biggest win that people are saying because still the evidence that they found at the police station when they went through the bag fully was the gun and his manifesto, railing the healthcare system in America. So those are two huge pieces of evidence, the silencer and the book, that still the prosecution can use in the trial. So they got rid of a few things, but I think the smoking gun literally is still part of the trial.
Well, why would the manifesto be allowed in if all the other stuff wasn't?
Because those are things that were discovered at the police station after they knew who they had. When they were at the McDonald's, they didn't know who they had. They suspect it, but they did not know. They did not have a warrant to go through his stuff, and this became obviously the trial that it is now, and that's why the lawyer was able to get rid of these things.
Interesting. Moving on here to Shakira. Shakira, her hips really do not lie.
Yeah, she did not lie, apparently. This was an 8-year battle with some tax laws in Spain. Basically, they said that, and this is a law in America as well, that, you have to live a certain amount of time in a state to claim those state tax laws or those tax breaks or benefits, whatever you want to call them. So they're saying that she did not spend that amount of time in Spain to get these tax credits, but her defense was saying, well, she's a global touring artist. She's obviously not going to be able to spend that amount of time in the country if she's touring that amount during the year. And they also allege that she had some shady dealings with how her businesses were set up to get these tax breaks, but the judge looked over everything and ruled that neither of these things were true and that she did everything above board, and that these claims that they were making, they had no evidence that she wasn't there in the time they needed. So they ruled that she gets back 60 million euros plus interest and fees, which is what she paid for this alleged suit to begin with. So yeah, big payday for Shakira.
Wow, they must have some kind of income tax over in Spain.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, she's. I think people underestimate how rich and how big Shakira is around the world.
Yeah,
she's a very, very rich person, so she's getting all that money back. She's gonna be even more rich.
Wow.
Did she ever say over the course of these many years that she felt like she was being targeted because she's a worldwide celebrity?
Yeah, I mean, I think she definitely feels like she was targeted, and that's kind of the part of the defense that her legal team gave to the judge. Obviously, they were just hoping that they could get a big payday from a big superstar who may not notice this money from their account missing. They could just pay it and whatever, move on. But thankfully, they looked into it and found that she didn't have to.
I think they make a good point, though, Eric, and you mentioned it. For some of these global superstars, I think a lot of times in America, we think that we're like hot stuff, right? And what happens here. But, I mean, she is like, globally, she's a huge star.
Yeah.
So she spends a lot of time in different countries. She has fans all over the world.
Yeah, we were having a debate in the office today about who's more famous, Timothy Chalamet and Lewis Hamilton, because people underestimate how big Lewis Hamilton is around the world with F1. F1 might not be big here in the States, but around the world it's huge. So there's the debate who's bigger, as far as the Kardashian women obviously all have A-list men in their lives now, right, going on with Kendall and Jacob and Timmy and Kylie. So, people outside of their little bubble, it's hard to quantify how big someone is, maybe.
Like think of BTS, right?
There you go.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
can we just say that it was so cool that they were forced to actually serve in the military, but then they came back and now they're as big, if not bigger, than they were before.
Yeah, forced military work is so cool. That's how I would describe it.
It was cool that they were able to come back to their craft.
Yeah.
And
But they, especially how big they were, they probably could have got out of it if they wanted to. So it was honorable of them to go through with it.
I know. Are you ready, Eric, to force military work? I mean,
no, I'm over that age. I'm gay. I have a bad ankle. Whatever other things I can pull up,
Sergeant, like right away.
He's like, my wrist hurts, my ankle hurts.
No, I got keratoconus in one eye. It's a whole thing. So
Eric shows up with a bum ankle.
Yes. He's like, nope, sorry.
No.
Oh, man. All right, Eric. Well, we got you covered. Oh, by the way, just one other little piece of trivia. I don't know if you know this, but so obviously they had to Mirandize Luigi Mangione and read him his rights. The Miranda case is from right here in Arizona. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
The whole Miranda case?
Yeah, it's from right here at a bar.
Wow, fun fact.
Downtown Phoenix.
Yeah. This goes all the way back, I think, to the late 60s or early 70s.
Yeah.
Something like that. Little piece of legal trivia for you there. Got to Mirandize them. Yeah,
all right.
That's for sure.
Have a great Monday, my friend.
Sounds good. You too, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay, Celeste.
Yes.
Now, so here's what we got. We have a viewer voicemail. I love this viewer voicemail. You'll hear what she has to say. Thank you to everybody that calls up on our viewer voicemail line. But it brings about a whole new segment called Learn New Things. We are going to make you smarter than all your other friends. You're going to learn new things as a result of this viewer voicemail.
You may be able to call them and go, hey, I'm smarter than you. And here's why.
I'm going to prove it. Back after this. All right, everybody. Life's pretty good in this little part of Florida, Celeste.
Oh, my
I'm betting
goodness.
it's Florida anyway. Looks a little too green to be Arizona.
Yeah, you got all those palm trees.
Yeah, you do a lot of palm trees.
Like, at least. And what do you think this is? Like some sort of golf club? See the little building?
For sure.
Oh, Inglewood.
Look at that. Dean Fazzini, man, he monitors every second of this show.
I wonder if
he passes it along to Big D.
When he sees places like this, I wonder if he's dreaming like, oh, to be in Inglewood.
Well, Dean's a golfer. I do know that. So who knows? Maybe someday he'll take a little vacay to Florida and play that very course. So one of the things that we rolled out a couple of months ago, this is Fox 10 Talks. You can watch us on Fox 10 TV, on the Fox local app, but of course on YouTube.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we rolled out a while ago was a new viewer voicemail feature. And it's excellent because we're interactive with you guys on YouTube literally by the second. Mm-hmm. But this is just one more way to make this the most interactive show possible.
So we're going to take a listen to what you all shared in this voicemail.
Listen to this particular lady. Ready? I'm with her, 100%.
Hello. I just wanted to say I just love Ron and Celeste. You're such cheerful people to see in the morning when all the news are so bad. But anyway, and I'm just calling just a little thing. I agree with Ron Hoon on the pronunciation of hantavirus, which it always had been as far as I remember, and why all of a sudden the pronunciation is trying to change.
Thank you very much.
Nice work. And thank you so much for watching. We're so happy that you have found us and we have found you.
Yeah.
This is a safe space.
So here's the thing. Is it Qatar or Qatar, Celeste? Is it creek or is it crick?
Oh.
I mean, think about all of these. Is it...
tomato or tomato?
Is it data or data?
Is it root or route?
Is it Nevada or Nevada?
Oh.
No, seriously. Maybe it's supposed to be Nevada, but I want to say Nevada because that's the way I've always said. And that's the way we used to always say hantavirus. So,
is it?
I'm not changing. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Are you going to park the car or are you going to park the car?
In Boston, yeah. All right, so therefore we have decided to roll out a whole new feature starting today on Fox 10 Talks, and we call it, are you ready for this, Celeste?
Yes.
We call it the Learn Something New.
Oh my gosh, this
Learn
is brilliant.
new things. So there we are in our laboratory. And we want to help you explore, discover, and create and answer your questions about hard subjects.
Who's the monkey in the back?
I don't know who. I don't even know who the robot is.
He's for sure not. He can't get on the Southwest flight. That's for sure.
Right. Oh, that Southwest story cracks me up. Anyway, all right. So here's what we did. We went and did a little research, and by we, I mean me. Here's the story, Celeste. So a river in Korea. In fact, it's...
One second.
Yeah.
Give us the number to that. Big D.
Yeah.
What is the number to the voicemail again? Mr. Pauline is asking in the chat box.
Okay.
602-262-0428. 0428 people.
Yeah. We love your feedback, good or bad.
Thank you.
Or just other questions. If you want to ask us a question where you can learn something new.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
We're right here for you. Okay, but here's the situation, Celeste. There is a river in Korea that's very close to what they call the DMZ, right? The demilitarized zone. And the river is called the Hantan River, and it flows through Gangwon and Gyeonggi.
I'm glad you said that.
And it's a tributary of a river called the Imjin, which merges with the big Han River. Now, if you're in Korea, if you ask, where's the Han River? They won't know what you're talking about. It's called the Han River.
Han.
It's known for its significance in the Korean War, but also, get this, and this is where you now can be smarter than all your friends.
Yes.
In the 1970s, it entered the global scientific world when a virologist named Lee Ho Wang isolated a virus from local rodents on the banks of that river. That's where the Hanta or Hanta virus, so we like to call it the Hanta, but the name of the river is Han.
So there was, in 1970s, there was some local rodents near the bank of this community.
That's what
it says here. A novel virus from local rodents near its banks.
I can't confirm that the rodents were local. They could have been visiting.
Were they international
rodents? They could have been visiting from Russia.
Right.
I'm just thinking what's in that part of the world. Anyway, they probably were local to the area.
So it was a Korean virologist.
Yes.
Lee Ho Wang.
Right.
He's the one who discovered these rodents.
I know.
Not international, but local.
But, okay, so technically it's correct. But do we have to all adjust? I mean, some brainiac somewhere is like, oh, you people are all saying it wrong.
Oh, so it is Hanta.
Yeah.
But, of course, many people say Hanta.
Well, but the thing is, it's the Han River. So we've all been saying Hanta, so I don't. Like, for that matter, who changed Uranus to Uranus?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Hold on there, Dave.
That was a little TMI, Ron.
No, but seriously, these things happen, and we're all supposed to just follow like sheep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Dave, do you have any thoughts on that topic? Why they changed it?
I have no thoughts besides this is just such an entertaining show. Good job, guys.
Good. Can you confirm if those rodents were local? Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, anyway, thank you for your viewer voicemail. And Celeste, one more time, let's just ask Dave. He's got it memorized.
Big D. 602-262-0428. Call us anytime. And, hey, if you want to email us, fox10talks@fox.com. There's always a way to get in touch with Fox 10 Talks.
There is.
So great. Okay, on to our next story now, Celeste, which has to do with what to keep in the fridge and maybe what not to keep in the fridge.
I love this story.
Yeah.
Also,
a microbiologist.
You're learning new things.
Yes, you are. How about this? A local microbiologist.
Thank you, Ron.
Weighed in to pinpoint the groceries you should keep in the fridge, which we know most of them. But this particular expert said you can quit storing your bread.
Yeah.
I guess unless it's that sprouted bread.
The Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite good.
But I do think that if you
Toasted.
put the bread in the fridge, it lasts longer.
I think so too. And when bread is on sale, I buy extra loaves.
Oh yeah.
And I stick them in the freezer.
Right.
And then I pull them out because I have kids and it's expensive to feed my family.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Can I bring them to your house?
Yeah, we got a fridge. Although we have grandkids, so there's never any space in our fridge either. Okay, but anyway, so they say don't bother, not worth it. In fact, it maybe is not good for them, for the bread, for the honey and the chocolate. Now, I like nice cold chocolate.
Oh yes,
right?
And sometimes a lot of people put your thoughts here in the chat. Some people like to put chocolate, like those Reese's peanut butter cups, in the freezer.
Oh, by the way,
Or
it's National Celebrate Reese's. I guess it's just Reese's chocolate.
Oh,
today.
okay,
Yeah.
big celebratory day. Listen to this though. These are the things you should put in the refrigerator.
Okay, yeah.
This I like. I put my nuts in the fridge. Do you put your nuts in the fridge, Ron?
I do not.
Big D.
Do you like them?
Do you put
just
your
like
nuts
them
in the
colder?
fridge?
No, I do not.
Celeste, come on. We're doing really good on this show. We haven't even gone to PG-13 the whole show, Celeste.
Okay, anyways. But here's the thing. A lot of you may put your nuts in the fridge. But here's the thing. You should also put your spices.
She's gone. She lasted till 10:54.
Put your spice in the fridge.
Put your spice in the fridge, but
That's
not
what
your
it
nuts.
says. I was thinking, why do people put... That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah.
Put your spices in the fridge. But if you have like an expensive spice, like a saffron or something like that.
Saffron?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, listen to Thomas. He says he puts his cashews in the fridge.
Okay, thank you.
You know?
I'm glad we're talking specific brands now, or types, Celeste. Anyway.
I put my... I have walnuts.
In the fridge?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
I love... And you know why walnuts are... why they're shaped the way they are? Like a brain.
Oh, yes, right. Like a brain.
Because they're good for your brain.
Hey, before we go, because we promised we would talk about this, this new study says that one of the mistakes that a lot of us make is occasionally you sleep in longer than 8 hours, this new study says that's almost as bad for you as sleeping 6 hours or less.
Yeah, so there's like a sweet spot.
Yeah, I thought this was really fascinating. So they did say that if you do it consistently, it can lead to faster aging.
No, thank you.
And it basically kind of speeds up your biological clock. Yes, we all know that if you only get 5 or 6 hours of sleep a night, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, but they say between 6 and 8 hours is a sweet spot.
Yeah,
so 6.5 or even like 6 and 15.
But I guess 8.5 is no good, or 9.
No.
Every once in a while, you feel like you need it. Right?
Not unless you're like a teenager. Maybe you get up at 7 hours, and then I love taking naps on the weekends.
Me too.
I did yesterday. Did you take a good nap yesterday?
Yeah, and when I woke up from it, I was really out of it. Some naps I just spring right up.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I'm like, whoa.
Do you ever take a nap and you wake up and it's kind of dark and you're like, oh my gosh, did I sleep through work?
No.
That
absolutely.
happened during the winter months when it was so dark, you know?
Yeah, well, at least we now know that you can put your nuts in the fridge and you'll be fine. Anyway.
It did say stuff that you do not need to put in the fridge.
Yes.
Soy sauce.
Yep.
Ketchup.
Okay.
And hot sauces.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
we
those
covered
you can
all
leave
of
those
that.
in the cupboard or the pantry or wherever.
Hey, one last thing. Shout out to our firefighters. Goodyear Fire Department had to rescue dogs and cats. They started by rescuing a dog. The department says a trooper, or the dog named Trooper, got stuck in a trench at a construction site. And they lifted and carried the pooch to safety.
Oh, look at his ear.
The dog is A-OK, but a few hours later they got a call about a stuck kitten in the vehicle. And look at this. Look at this successful all in a day's work for the great folks at the Goodyear Fire Department.
Wow.
We salute you guys.
Thank you all for your service. My goodness. And thank you all for watching. By the way, welcome back, Brandy the Bookworm. She was a little under the weather, but she posted in the chat she is back. So our prayers are out there for you, and we're glad to have you back.
We've been missing you, Brandy, that's for sure. Hey, thanks for joining us. Ty and Anita are coming up after a quick 2.5-minute break.
there we go. All 3 green lights mean we can go. Happy Monday, everybody. Time now, 11 o'clock. We're going to keep things rolling here on Fox 10 Talks.
We have a jam-packed show.
Is this turned into an ASMR thing?
Yes.
How creepy.
Isn't it, though? Do you have a good weekend?
It was very chill. Had some friends in town.
Oh.
Hung out.
Okay.
And then, it was fun. But we're talking about this. Today is going to be really nice.
Very nice.
Temperatures actually
all week.
Yeah, below average, but the heat is coming.
It's of course. It's inevitable.
And we always talk about how to keep ourselves safe in the heat, but how do we make sure that our pets are staying safe in the heat?
Fifi still has to go out to potty.
Fifi sure does.
They still want their walks.
They do. So we have Dr. Molly Klein joining us here this morning. She is a veterinarian.
Hi.
We've had her on before. It's great to see you again,
Good
Dr.
to see
Klein.
you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about it. We know kind of ourselves. We can kind of see and feel the signs of heat-related stress.
Yeah.
When it comes to our pets, are there things that we should be watching out for when it comes to them?
Yeah, definitely. So this time of year, of course, as the weather's heating up, big things that we want to keep an eye on for in our pets are excessive panting, lethargy, if they're starting to have exercise intolerance when they're out playing or on their walks, seeking shade. All of those things are indicators that they're getting too hot and that we should start to give them a break.
Can we talk about the panting?
Definitely.
So our little Chihuahua, the second he would get in the car, would just, and then my husband would panic and say he's overheating. Give him water.
Yeah.
But dogs pant. That's what they do. They don't sweat.
And that helps them to cool down.
They pant to cool off.
Definitely.
So at what point does the panting get excessive and worrisome?
Yeah, I would say, if you're actively doing cool down measures for your pet and they're not responding to that, so if the panting doesn't let up with the air conditioning on after a few minutes, if they're still going to seek shade, if they're acting abnormal, if you start to see gum color changes, like if pink gums suddenly start to become pale or more grayish blue, then those things are concerning. But, in general, just mild panting with a dog otherwise acting normal is okay, because that's how they do help to cool down and thermoregulate.
If you did need to help your dog cool down and to put cool compresses on them, where on the body should you put them?
Good question. So kind of a controversial thing is if we do feel like our pets are heating up too quickly, we don't want to try to rapidly cool them down. So some people will reach for an ice pack or try to put their pets in an ice bath. We don't want to do that, but trying to get some room temperature water onto them, anywhere where they have actually major vessels, is going to be the most helpful. So their neck or on their inner thighs, that's where they have some big vessels, and so trying to get some room temperature water and fans onto them, that can help them to cool down.
When we would go for walks when it was a little toastier, because we were always super careful about that, we would dip Shorty in the pool or hose him down. So he was soaking wet when he started, but I really felt like that helped a lot. It wasn't a frigid cold, but it was cooler to where his body temperature he'd be a little bit more comfortable. Is that an okay thing to do?
I think that's an okay thing to do, yes. I think that's an okay thing to do.
We're getting a great question. I was going to ask you about the how hot the
pavement
gets. And Brandy the Bookworm, by the way, great to see you back
Brandy,
in the chat.
Glad you're back.
She was asking about, obviously that can protect their pads, but does that help maybe, does that add to overheating? Because someone said that they do kind of let out through their paws.
Yeah, they do.
And also those pads are the shoes are plastic.
Right.
So
I would say, I think booties are okay for, moderate exercise for these guys. What you want to avoid is walking them on the asphalt. That's where everything is going to be the hottest. I don't know the exact stat, but I think asphalt gets 30 to 50 degrees hotter than other parts of the sidewalk or, grass and gravel. So avoid the asphalt.
And don't you guys say too, if you can't put your own bare
pavement
foot,
test,
totally,
exactly. They say use the 7-second rule. If you can't hold your hand, we used our foot. I would just put my foot on it for 7 seconds, and it's too hot for your dog's paws.
Definitely, and that happens quick.
What happens if those pads burn?
Yeah, so if they burn, they can ulcerate, almost like a blister on our feet, and so they can be really uncomfortable. They can get little fluid-filled blisters and be sensitive there. So definitely trying to keep an eye out for that, and just trying to walk them during the coolest parts of the day, so sunrise and after sunset. That's going to be the best time to get out there.
Dr. Klein, I have another question for you about hydration.
Yeah.
Now, obviously in the summer, we as humans drink more. Should we be maybe not, forcing is not the right word I want to use, but should we maybe offering water more often to our pets in the summer?
Yeah, definitely having multiple sources of water, especially if they are going indoors, outdoors frequently, is going to be important. So maybe add an extra water bowl. Most dogs really love ice or frozen fruit, so if you want to try to encourage them to drink more, putting some ice cubes or some blueberries or something like that in their water bowl so that they can, drink more through that is helpful as well.
I was going to ask you about the ice cubes because I think you were just mentioning the extremes, like if they're too warm. And I think I read that once that sometimes if you do give them the ice water, that can be dangerous for them.
If they're actively in heat stroke, yes, then we don't want to, put ice on them to try to rapidly cool them down. But if you have a dog and you're just trying to have some enrichment and some fun and get them to drink some more water, ice cubes are okay.
Brandy has another question. This is interesting too. Should we be giving our dogs electrolytes like we do for ourselves to stay hydrated?
Good question. So I'd say cautiously. Things like unflavored Pedialyte are okay, but we want to avoid things that do have excess sugar or that have sugar substitutes like xylitol, because those can be toxic to our pets. So really, I would say more so just encouraging their general hydration and trying to keep them indoors during the hottest part of the day.
Now, Molly, we've obviously been talking a lot about dogs. You can tell that we're definitely dog lovers over here. But when it comes to cats, I feel like they kind of are just, they're smarter.
I was going to say they're a little more, a little more street smart, I think, than dogs are. Yeah.
But are there things we should be watching out when it comes to our cats?
Yeah, I mean, people who do let their cats outdoors, same thing, just providing extra water, good sources of shade, trying to not let them go outside during the main heat portion of the day. Exactly, that's going to be important. But cats are a little smarter.
What about high-risk breeds?
Yeah, definitely. Good question. So what we call brachycephalic dogs, which are going to be your little smushed-faced dogs, so French bulldogs, English bulldogs, pugs, Shih Tzus, boxers. Those dogs already are a little bit more compromised because they have those squished faces. They can't cool themselves down quite as well as a long-snouted dog. So those dogs in particular, you need to pay extra attention to them during the summertime.
I just took poor little Mert in because she was having some issues, and they were talking about her gums when it comes to hydration, and they were saying if it feels tacky.
Yes.
Is that, you mentioned looking at the color, but you can also touch the, can you walk us through what that looks like?
Definitely. So if you lift your dog's lip up, you can take a look at their gums, and then you can actually, if they let you, touch their gums. If their gums feel nice and moist, and if you put mild pressure on their gums, and you see basically the gums will blanch, so you'll see kind of the color go away.
Like a little impression almost.
Yeah, like a little white impression where your finger was. You'll want to be able to see that color come back in about 2 seconds, and that's what's considered pretty normal. Same thing, if you touch their gums and they feel really dry and sticky and there's not a lot of saliva there, that can be an indicator that they're getting a bit dehydrated as well.
Dr. Klein, do we see, do you have dogs that come in that have heat stroke from
Unfortunately, it happens every year.
Being left outside accidentally, or is it from them going for a walk, or what are some of the big...
I've seen a combination of both, unfortunately. I think a lot of times, it is a lot of times a miscommunication with the family. Somebody doesn't realize they let the dog out. They forget the dog is out there. They come back an hour later from their errands and their dog is overheated. But also I have seen dogs who are just, going to the dog park, going out on a hike, and it's just too hot for them. So we see it every year.
I'm sorry, you mentioned accidents. Let's talk about swimming pools.
Yeah.
I would say 9 out of 10 people have a swimming pool or something in the backyard.
Yeah.
Our dog knew how to swim, but as he got older, there was one time he fell in and couldn't figure out where the steps were.
Totally.
And that's scary.
Sure, definitely.
Same as a child almost. Supervise them?
Right. Supervise them, definitely. And you're right, it does become more of a concern when either the dog is very young and doesn't know how to swim yet, or they're old and they're having visual changes or cognitive changes and they can't find the steps as well. So definitely for the young guys and the old guys, very close supervision. For the adults who are well trained in the pool, I still recommend supervision because you just never know what's going to happen. It's always a slight risk. So close watching, definitely.
What's too hot then, do you think?
As far as going outside goes.
If you have a dog and you want to take him or her for a walk.
They all love walks too.
They do.
It's hard to explain to them. It's too hot to go outside.
I know.
What's your rule of thumb as a dog mom?
Yeah, I would say honestly, I try not to go out. Anything over 100, I think, is getting a little risky, especially if you're doing moderate exercise. If you're trying to go for a long walk, if you're trying to jog, those are all just too much to risk, I think. So really, I'd say early in the morning. I know no one wants to set an alarm, but early in the morning or after the sun has gone down, that's going to be the best time.
All right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Klein, how do folks get a hold of you if they have more?
Great question.
Want some more information?
Yeah, so I'm at Ingleside Animal Hospital. We're off of 48th Street in Thomas. You can Google us, and we're on social media too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Great to see you guys.
We are going to move forward, and we're going to join Governor Hobbs, who is doing a press conference right now.
Many of whom were Native Americans. I heard heartbreaking stories of Indigenous people being picked up in white vans and taken to so-called sober living homes. Instead of receiving care, they were plied with drugs and alcohol, cut off from their families and loved ones, left to suffer while the owners of these operations grew rich by billing our state's Medicaid system. These fraudsters lived lavishly, buying luxury cars and multi-million-dollar homes halfway around the world, while the people they were supposed to care for endured unimaginable suffering and, in some cases, lost their lives. All they were seeking was help. I knew that we had to take action where the previous administration didn't. I knew we had to act decisively and crack down on this fraud. 3 years ago, I announced that this fraud was happening and that it had created a humanitarian crisis in our state, and I pledged to stop it. Today, I can confidently report that we've made significant progress to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. We've also deployed new tools to stay one step ahead of the fraudsters and ensure that this never happens again. Over the last 3 years, my administration has made it a top priority to stop this fraud and support the people impacted by this tragedy. In 2023, we stopped 85 alleged fraudsters from billing Medicaid. In 2024, that number dropped to 69. And this year, it's just been 2. This decline isn't because we've slowed our efforts. It's because the criminals have heard our message loud and clear. Arizona has zero tolerance for waste and fraud and abuse. We will protect taxpayer dollars, safeguard our citizens from exploitation, and prosecute bad actors to the fullest extent of the law. In January of 2023, my first month in office, claims for the procedures most targeted by fraud reached nearly $350 million. But by July of 2025, the latest month for which we have completed data, that number had dropped to just over $100 million, the same level as in January of 2021. But cutting off the providers is only one part of the solution. We've also worked closely with law enforcement at the tribal, local, state, and federal level to prosecute bad actors. Since the beginning of 2023, 138 indictments from the Attorney General have resulted from access fraud referrals. While we've made great strides, we cannot afford to become complacent. Criminals are constantly finding new ways to exploit taxpayers and prey on vulnerable people in our state. And that's why we're committed to staying one step ahead. In my recent message to Dr. Oz, I highlighted Arizona's cutting-edge and innovative approach to fighting waste, fraud, and abuse. I didn't need Washington to tell me what to do. I've already done it. From day one, I've taken bold action to stop fraud and hold criminals accountable. Since 2023, we have strengthened provider enrollment criteria to stop bad providers before they start billing taxpayers, expanded partnerships with the FBI, IRS criminal investigations, and the Attorney General's office, county prosecutors. We've leveraged private-public partnerships in our Medicaid system to incentivize the private sector to crack down on fraud. And we've created a new centralized committee and access to ensure accountability policies are being enforced throughout the organization. Today, I am thrilled to announce the next step in our fight against fraud. Access is implementing a new, first-in-the-nation artificial intelligence tool to root out and stop waste, fraud, and abuse. This new tool will superpower our accountability efforts, help identify anomalous billing practices, and stop fraudsters in their tracks before they start. The fight against these criminals will not end. Whenever taxpayers are involved, there will always be bad actors trying to exploit and defraud the system. But Arizona is leading the way in fraud detection and prevention. We've cracked down on historic levels of fraud, saved countless vulnerable people from exploitation, and ensured that taxpayer dollars are used for their intended purpose, to provide care and support for Arizonans. Behind me stands Chairman Hernandez of the Pasco Yaqui tribe. Thank you so much for your partnership in this fight. I stand with you and tribal nations throughout Arizona in working to stop this fraud and protect our people from this humanitarian crisis. With that, I'll hand things off to Vanessa Templeton, Inspector General at Access.
Thank you, Governor Hobbs.
House Governor Katie Hobbs.
Indeed, it was. Talking about insurance fraud here in the state, our investigative reporter, Justin Lum, is there as well. So we're going to have a full recap of what was happening during that press conference on the News at Noon and then later editions of Fox 10 as well.
Okay, so our next topic, the Dorrance Dome, which is absolutely fascinating. They have something very, very special coming up. And you guys, as you were explaining a little bit, put this whole thing together yourselves.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for having me back on.
We love having you on.
Yeah.
Because I think the Dorrance Dome, if people have never been there, it's at the Arizona Science Center. Let's back up, though. What is the Dorrance Dome for people that haven't been watching us?
The Dorrance Dome is the most technologically advanced planetarium on planet Earth, and it's located at Arizona Science Center. It's an LED dome, so it's 9,000 LED panels at 8K plus resolution. It has 5 times the pixel density of the Sphere, so it's a much sharper image than you get even at a place like the Sphere. And we do science educational programming during the day, and we do more artistic, more musical, more cultural programming in our evening hours. We like to say it's science and culture by day, science by day and culture by night.
The last big event that you had, I believe, was the Star Wars showings on May 4th, and it's sold out.
That's right.
Before the show even aired.
That's right. Yeah, that was our big kickoff to the month of May was Star Wars screenings, and so we showed the original trilogy with complementary material on the rest of the dome. So 3-dimensional models of ships and backgrounds that match certain scenes in the film. So we curated that and put that together. That was a wonderful experience. And
how cool! But you have something even. I mean, for people that love Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. I mean, he's really having a moment right now, coming off of the Super Bowl. You guys have done something really cool at the Dorrance Dome for a Bad Bunny concert, almost, right?
That's right. Yeah, we created a Bad Bunny visual album. So what we did was we took select songs, so the music of Bad Bunny, and we set it to original visuals, including the largest collection of 360-degree photography that's ever been taken of Puerto Rico by anyone in the world.
And you guys actually went to Puerto Rico and one of your photographers or crew took those photos.
Yes, it was actually me. I took the photos.
Wow.
What does the camera look like? Is it huge or like?
No. So we used actually a handheld 360 camera in order to capture it, and then through a little bit of post-processing, we were actually able to master these images in 16K resolution, 360 degrees, from locations all over the island. Over the course of 5 days, we traveled from Camuy to Arecibo, San Juan, Ponce, as well as areas in the core of the island as well. And the best images are featured in the show itself.
How many photos did you take?
About 500 total.
Wow.
Yeah, and about 50 of the best are featured in the Bad Bunny experience.
I bet it was difficult to pick the best.
Actually, my father-in-law is from Puerto Rico. He lives in Arecibo, and so he actually showed us around.
Oh, look at that!
So he took us to locations that are hidden away, some hidden beaches. We went to the interior of the island and visited places, small villages, places like that, places that you wouldn't normally see on, say, like a vacation package or anything like that.
And then you set it all to the soundtrack of Bad Bunny.
That's right.
How cool is this?
I love hearing the behind the scenes of this, how it came together, because if you go, I'm sure it's spectacular, but just learning a little bit about how you put it together and your father-in-law, that's really neat.
Yeah, so we debuted the show this past weekend. We had our first 3 shows were all sold out, which was just wonderful to see. The reception has been tremendously positive. I introduced all of the shows this past weekend, and so I did provide a little bit of that context, and people were coming up after the show and saying that really just that it was fantastic and beautiful. The the most common word that we heard from people who were in attendance was just, it was a beautiful show. And so the reception has been tremendously positive so far. We've sold over 1,100 tickets already for the month of May, but we have a lot more availability. So we're hoping that we sell thousands more. And right now, this is the only place in the world that you can see it is on our LED Dome here in Phoenix.
How long will the show be available?
We plan on running it for several months for its opening run. So all summer long, we want it to be a Bad Bunny summer for us here in the Dorrance Dome.
It sounds like you're off to a great start.
Yeah. Eventually, we hope to be able to share the product and the project with other venues around the world. But for now, Phoenix is the only place you can see it.
How cool.
That's so cool.
Now, I know we talked about it, but folks were really hoping to jump on board to see Star Wars, and people in the chat were saying how cool that must have been to see it there. Are there plans to do that again? Because I know there was a lot of people that were like, oh, please let me know if you guys do that again.
Yeah, as long as Lucasfilm provides us the rights to show it again, we fully intend to show Star Wars again.
Okay.
So we have plans for probably after the summer. Right now we're in a blackout phase thanks to the Mandalorian and Grogu film, so we can't screen it right now, otherwise we would. But after the summer, we'll be looking to bring that back for sure.
What about like a Devil Wears Prada and we can do a little runway?
Yeah, we're exploring the possibilities for other film experiences as well. It doesn't stop with Star Wars for us. Star Wars was kind of a starting point for that, but we do plan on having other immersive film experiences like that too.
Or maybe something with puppies, like that one Dalmatians with doggies running everywhere.
Okay. You can put her on the payroll if you want.
Honestly.
I'm open
She's
to
got
anything.
some ideas. Well, hold on. Let's see if anybody any idea if the Phoenix Public Libraries offer passes to the Dome? You have to get the tickets through the Arizona Science Center, correct?
Yes, we do have some partnerships and some packages available, ways to get discounted admission to the Science Center. But in order to get the Dorrance Dome, it is a separate ticket from general admission.
Okay.
The base price is $14, and if you're an Arizona Science Center member, and our discount prices, those discounted rates are about $7.
Do you have to buy a ticket to the Science Center to get to the Dome?
Not for our after-hours experiences.
Cool.
So Bad Bunny is an entirely standalone ticket, and it's entirely separate from Science Center admission.
And what's the website if folks want to get more show times, more info about the Dorrance Dome?
Easiest way to go is DorranceDome.com.
Okay.
So we have our own .com page that you can go to. That'll take us straight to our Dorrance Dome programming page. You can also find us on azscience.org or any of our social media channels, so at azscience on Instagram.
I love
The
it.
next time you go anywhere spectacular like Puerto Rico to shoot, let us know. We'll do a behind the scenes.
Or we'll come with.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I thought you meant bring him back after. We'll go with.
We'll do a behind the scenes.
Maybe we'll go to, I don't know, Ireland, Hawaii, Indonesia, who knows, right? New Zealand.
The tulips in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's always great when you come on, Alec. Thank you.
We already have a question in the chat for Crystal. And so I don't know if you want to put up a tower cam. Oh, there we go.
There's all of Crystal's
we have
cameras right now.
A variety of weather. I saw a lot of windy conditions, but I think the question said something about global warming. Now I can't find it. But we'll see if we can find that question. Oh, Finding Nemo, someone mentioned.
Oh, that would be a
that
good
would
one.
be
at
a
the
good
Dorrance
one.
Dome.
Okay,
My daughter would like that.
Yes,
She's obsessed with Nemo recently.
Doesn't she also like Bad Bunny? I was thinking
She's also obsessed with Bad Bunny. Do you know what? Our weekend was literally only Bad Bunny and Finding Nemo, actually. We bought her do you guys know, you don't know what a Tony box is, do you? It's like this box that plays music if you put little characters on it. Anyways, we got her a Nemo. So we've listened to it 700 times since Friday. It's just random themed songs. If there are songs in the movies, it's those, but Nemo doesn't really have a lot of songs. So they're like kind of like tropical themed songs, and then there's the story of Finding Nemo, but in like storybook form.
So if you
because we don't do a lot of screens, so it's like a non-screen.
If you put Nemo on top of the box, does it know to play Nemo
automatically? So that's why I'm saying we've listened to it 700 times. So she just plops that thing on, and then when it's done, she just picks it up and puts it right back on again. Yeah.
Any others?
Oh yeah, we've got a lot, but
her favorite right now.
Well, because we just got him Friday, so
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. I'm sure he'll be playing when I walk walk in the house later today.
Mickey Mouse down, they'll be playing Disney music or Mickey music.
Yes.
Fascinating.
It's great, actually.
We have a lot to learn.
Bring Sophia over.
I know. We keep saying we need to have her on.
Well, let's talk about the forecast because it's pretty spectacular.
It is. Look how pretty it looks all around the state, guys. These are all live camera views. Tempe Town Lake, downtown Phoenix, Flagstaff, Sedona. Yeah, everywhere looks really good. The winds are the only issue. It was really windy yesterday.
It was windy.
It was very windy yesterday. We knew it was going to be windy, but oh man, in the high country, most spots were in gusts of like 35 to 45. Today, not quite as strong, but we're close. Out in parts of Mojave County, Bullhead City, Lake Havasu, those gusts are like 35, 40. And then off in the east edge of the state as well, Springerville is gusting to 38 miles per hour, and then Flagstaff is gusting to 31 miles per hour. So it is already windy, and that'll persist the rest of the afternoon. For the valley, a bit breezy this afternoon, but it should not be as gusty as it was yesterday. There's the view from Fox Vision, dry across the whole state. And then you guys said you specifically want to know what was up with the temperatures because they're running kind of cool for this time of year. So there's a storm system that's into the north of us that has dragged some mild air and a cold front over us. And the good news is this thing is kind of quick to depart, but there's a second disturbance behind it. So the mild air is going to kind of continue to linger the next several days in a row. It is slowly moving out, so our temperature is going to slowly climb, but it really doesn't boost back to triple-digit territory until the weekend, actually. And this is the look at the forecast highs today. Only 89 here.
Today, I was like, did you get that wrong?
You thought you flip-flopped them.
98 instead of 89. But man, we'll take it.
It's amazing, yeah. So right near 90 in the valley, and then up in the high country, beautiful 60s and 70s. I mean, just overall great. Tomorrow will be a few degrees warmer, but slow to warm. We're near or below average all the way through Thursday.
I don't think we can complain about that.
No, it's been a good May.
What was the record on this day?
I believe it was 107 today. So we're not anywhere near 107.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
While you're here, I found this story and I wanted to bring it up because I thought this was interesting.
Oh, yes.
The Social Security Administration last week released its annual list of top baby names for 2025.
You know what was on the top of that list?
For Arizona, right?
For Arizona.
You guys told me it was my daughter's name, Sophia.
Olivia was number one.
Oh, number two is Sophia.
Sophia was number two.
Yeah.
Followed by Mia, Amelia, and Isabella. Isabella's off today.
Isabella's not here. Are her names on there?
No.
Oh.
For boys, does anybody want to take it?
Liam's always at the top, isn't it? Well, because when we were looking for baby names a couple of years ago, Sophia had already been at the top of the list for like years at that point. It's just apparently we did not know that until we'd already picked it, and then we realized it was a very popular name.
So Liam was number one. 2, Noah. 3, Mateo. Number 4, Santiago, which I thought was kind of an interesting name. And then 5, Oliver.
I like all of them.
I do too.
I really do.
I know I'm straying from the story, but I realized like a bunch of people are asking more like weather-heavy questions that I'd not even have time to dive into. So I'll have to come back with you guys later this week, and maybe it'll be like open chat about weather stuff. Because there's like El Nino questions and stuff like that, and we just don't have time right now to dive into them. But I'm not ignoring you guys. So.
Hi, everybody. It's Ron and Des and Desiree. When you and David finally make that trip with the kids to go up and see Seattle, such a great city, just make note that on that big body of water, which is called Lake Union, over to the right, almost where it goes underneath that freeway bridge, there's a fish and chips place called Ivar's. And I bet I ate there 3 times a week because the UW campus is just on the other side of that freeway.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, if you're
what was your
a
order?
college
Would you
kid,
order the same thing every time then?
I would get usually a 4-piece. You got to get the cod. They have fancier stuff. I think they even have salmon. It's kind of pricey.
Okay.
But, oh, man, it is some of the best fish and chips you'll ever have.
Yum.
So how are we today? What's going on?
We're good. We're good. We had a busy morning.
Yeah, you did. You were out there hanging out with the veterans.
Yeah,
that was
so
really
nice.
Touching.
Yeah, they're taking their honor flight to the nation's capital.
Yeah.
Actually, they probably already took off. I think they were taking off around 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a big group of them this year. There's more than 100 when you combine the veterans and their chaperones.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's the first chartered flight from the Arizona chapter.
Okay.
So they have this plane to themselves, taking all of them, and that's in hopes to helping cut down that backlog.
Yeah.
Because there are just so many veterans trying to get on an honor flight, but you know, before they could only take, you know, a group of not even 50? Would it maybe even be around 50? I've done previous stories with them in years past, and I think that kind of sounds like a lot. So this year there's 91 veterans.
I remember flying out with a group to D.C. Gosh, this was so many years ago. I bet it was around like 1990. Could have even been late 80s. And they were mostly Vietnam War veterans, and it was still so close, you know, because within 10 years.
Yeah.
10 or 12 years, that kind of a thing. And man, was it when they got to the wall, to the Vietnam War Memorial, it was so emotional.
Yeah, they say seeing the wall for those veterans in particular is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they even, you know, kind of have to fight with them to get them to go, and then at the end they're happy that they do.
Really?
But,
yeah.
It's just an emotional part of the trip for sure.
Let's talk about some of our headlines this morning. Hang on, we are just going to go to this video here from Flagstaff. Our Trenton Hooker's been kind of working up this story and is able to join us right now, Des, with a little bit of new information. Trenton just coming in and sitting down. Trenton, what are you learning?
So major updates in this case. We've learned that a 31-year-old mother of the infant who died has been arrested and charged with homicide, child abuse, and improper disposal of a body.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Just breaking just a few minutes ago. So our Taylor Wirtz is up there. She's going to have the latest at noon, but I've been on the phone all day just with Coconino County Sheriff's Office, Flagstaff Police, Flagstaff Justice Court to figure out, you know, what the hell's going on in this case, because we got very few details yesterday after we learned about what initially happened.
Well, and I think when we learned too that there were 2 other children in the room, that leads to so many more questions.
Yes.
Do we know, is she the mother of those other 2 children as well? What the situation was there?
We're finding out that the 2 other children that were in the room, I believe ages 7 and 9, they were found safe, but that infant, 17 months old. Terrible.
Yeah.
So the circumstances of how the infant died, police are saying that that's going to be left obviously to the medical examiner to do an autopsy. We've requested those records, but just a terrible case nonetheless.
A couple of other questions here. Was she from the Flagstaff area? Was she from here in the Metro Phoenix area or somewhere else in the country? Because I know a lot of people pass through Flagstaff going coast to coast.
That's a great question. We were thinking the same thing, especially with this La Quinta in particular by NAU. It's a frequent tourist stop, but searching the records of what we have, at least criminal records on this 31-year-old woman, she has an extensive rap sheet in Coconino County.
Wow.
Yep.
And what does that look like?
Aggravated assault, DUI, had a bench warrant actually out for her related to one of those cases at the beginning of the month on May 1st. So a judge had set that out. So a lot there to unpack.
Wow. So makes me question, did she even have custody of her children? Is there a situation there?
Exactly. You
said she was out on a warrant.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, the other thing we really tried to get yesterday, our own Andrew Christensen was up there in Flagstaff. Nobody heard what was going on in that hotel room. We asked La Quinta and its owner, Wyndham, for comment. We were asked to leave the property, but it's just a little wild that in such a major tourist spot in Flagstaff, nobody heard anything, said anything. The caller, we're still working to work the details, other than it was a female caller that called, but had very specific information about what happened in that room.
That called us.
No, the police initially.
Police
correct.
Initially.
Yeah.
And we don't know who that person is.
Not yet.
Right.
We're still trying to work that out.
Wow.
So.
Okay, a lot to sort through, but Trenton, great job. You guys are all over it. It's just sending shockwaves across the entire state.
What a terrible case. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, Taylor Wirtz, she's going to be live at noon, so she'll have the latest from Flag.
Okay. Perfect.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Trenton. Okay, no, go right ahead, Trenton.
Go ahead, Trenton.
We brought you in.
No,
I mean, the behind-the-scenes stuff that happens
That's what
here
the
on
show is for.
It's a streaming show. We always
Not
say.
supposed to be buttoned up.
Right. But we are buttoned up with this next interview. Really looking forward to talking to Dr. Joanne Intrator, who she's written some books that are really fascinating. You may be familiar with her from an authorship standpoint, but Des, she's also done a lot of research on the criminal mind, and it seems like on an almost daily basis, we have these stories of coming out of the criminal world that I think are of great interest. So we thought we could bring her on today. Dr. Intrator, thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. And I thought maybe I'd give you a little bit of a background to let you know how I got into all of this.
Yeah.
It started with growing up in a household that was affected by the Nazis, and my incredible interest in how human beings do these things to each other. And that took me on through college, and I wound up in medical school and became a psychiatrist with an interest in forensic psychiatry. And I also had a terrific interest in movies. I worked for a very famous movie director before I went to medical school, Alan Pakula, and I remained active in films and used films to teach and to make points. And I write a column for Psychology Today that's kind of interesting.
Well, since you did bring up your family's history in Berlin, we have some old footage from Movie Tone from those days in Berlin.
Yes.
And were you ever able to piece together the whole crowd psychology impact in terms of what we can learn about it? Because these pictures still are, when we realize the evil that was coming, it really makes you wonder.
I can give you a sense. It's, what happened is there was a terrible World War I that preceded it. Germany was defeated. Most of the men and young men and old men came back, whether they came back or not, they came back destroyed. There was economic problems. There were no jobs. And the government was not stable. And the idea that came about through a small group of people that got started around the 1920s under Hitler was to start thinking about Germany completely different. And they decided that, Germany, they needed to organize Germany around a major meaning. That Germany is a superior country, and one could understand them saying that because of all the fabulous music and literature and theater that came out of this country that was so devastated by World War I. So what happened is when you have chaos, the way it occurs, whether it's chaos now, during our times, or chaos then, you need an organizing force to pull people together. And the organizing force was, that the Jews caused World War I. the bankers in World War I, and there was a long-standing history of anti-Semitism that had, come and go. And my grandparents lived very well in Berlin. They were Jews, had a wonderful life. My father had a wonderful life, but this dark force emerged, and it got larger and larger, and took over. There were, some fights from the left, and a lot of manipulation through Goebbels. Sort of, it's the "Make Germany Great Again" story, and it took very heartily, and it organized the country. The country got itself back on track. The trains worked. People went back to school. They did not understand what was on Hitler's mind, the kind of growth that he wanted, and his desire, and feeling that Germany deserved to sort of be the master of all of Europe.
And we only have about a minute left,
okay.
So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I really wanted to get to your book, the story that you wrote.
I'll tell you what happened.
And you sent us some photos.
A building was taken by the Nazis during World War II. After the wall came down, my father asked me to go to Berlin and get that building back. And it was a very, very large building owned by several family members. And it was a process that went from 1993 to 2001. And during that time, I found out some of the more disturbing things about restitution, and how restitution was not as holy as people were talking about. I was pushed into trying to negotiate with the people that took the building, that's the building, make a deal with it, but these were people that stole the building. And
Doctor, let me just jump in. We are up against a break. There's one other topic we have to get to. Can you stick with us for a couple more minutes? I know you have a take on the Nancy Guthrie case, too. We'll be right back on Fox 10 Talks.
Okay, yeah.
All right, welcome back. So 11:45 now. That was our mystery camera for today. We did get a couple guesses.
Oh, did we?
We did.
Oh.
Do we want to reveal
Yeah,
the
sure.
answer?
If we got guesses, let's go.
Because you guys know the drill at this point. So that was great, you guys getting in those guesses. Little Philosophy says Indiana, B. Miguel, Oklahoma. Brandy says, I think it's Missouri. Ron, do you want to guess quick? Or
sure. I will go with Indiana.
Indiana? Okay, it's Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
There she is, right there with Des Moines. Yeah,
So,
I've been to Des Moines.
Thanks
You'd
for
think
guessing, you guys.
Yeah.
We were having just such a good discussion with Dr. Joanne here, and so hopefully folks are interested and they grab your book so they can read more about your family's history. I mean, just an incredible feat that you were able to document. But you're also you also teach courses on sociopaths and what goes into all of that. And you haven't wanted to talk about the Nancy Guthrie case. What are your thoughts in relation to that?
Well, they're kind of general in that anybody that goes into a house to abduct a person, as this happened, is either one or two things. They're either a kidnapper or they're abducting for reasons that have to do with emotional wishes. The kidnapping I completely ruled out by the way the afterwards, being on the media so much. Kidnappers are very efficient and they get the job done when they can, and it's very quiet. This felt emotional right away, and what that means is this person who is a psychopath, as is, if he were a kidnapper, he'd be a psychopath, and as a abductor with an emotional story, he would also be considered a psychopath, and he would be considered cold and ruthless, without empathy, and maybe even a bit sadistic. When you think about the fact that she was bleeding on the porch, and it didn't touch him or want him to do anything different, he just had to get her out of the way. So this is I don't think this was a very. This guy was not a pro abductor, just in the way he carried himself and dressed, and actually tried to get her out of the house in such a brutal way. So I don't know if this is the first thing he's ever done, but he's certainly been antisocial and has committed other crimes, maybe not murder. And if there's somebody behind him helping, he's a little bit more cool, more cold and ruthless, and but no good as well, obviously. So I just wish my best to the family, and I think about all the people that are there that have been hurt and frightened by what's happened in Tucson.
Well, here we are. We really are up against the clock, but let me just ask, if you don't think it was a kidnapping, which is one of the leading theories out there, then why do
Yeah. It's an abduction. A kidnapping is very specific. It's an exchange. It's a exchange of a person for money. It's organized. It's transactional. It's done in a few days if it's going to be done well. And this had sloppiness all over, particularly going on the media, which involved the whole United States paying attention. And it's the last thing a kidnapper wants. That doesn't mean the abductor, who was what I think, who was emotionally involved in some way or acted for someone emotionally. Certainly he abducted her, but for the technicality of kidnapping, we wouldn't call it that.
Okay. All right, Dr. Intrator, really interesting. And one more time, let's just mention, Des, that book is called Summons to Berlin. And it comes straight from the heart. It is her personal and her family's story.
Yeah, a compelling read, I'm sure. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Okay. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Hey, quick story, and then we have a really interesting guest coming up here in about 60 seconds. But we're paying attention, Des, to a request by APS. You know, they have their big offices in the heart of the city. Now they're going to begin the process. They want a 14% rate increase, which is a big number and is quite a bit larger than, traditionally we do see utilities looking for in the single digits. But they say the rate hike is needed to cover operation and maintenance costs from previous years, including improvements to the grid. And we all want to see improvements to the grid. But it's happening with a backdrop of the fact that people are highly skeptical about the power that is being consumed by data centers. There's no mention of data centers in any of this.
Mm-hmm. And well, I found it interesting that our Arizona Attorney General, Chris Mays, is arguing against this rate hike, saying that she's done the math, or her office has, and they've looked at raising rates 3% to maintain reliable service is what is coming out of the Attorney General's office, not necessarily 14% needed, so just a 3%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge difference there. So we'll see what her office is able to do, and once they vote on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, a lot of attention being paid. Obviously, we have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who rely on APS for their
and it'd be one thing if one bill in
service.
your life was going up $20, right? Just one.
Right.
But if you have 4 or 5 bills going up,
right.
$20.
Well, and every time you pull into the gas pump.
Yeah.
You know?
mean, it's just getting way too tight.
Yeah.
Way too tight for folks.
And we have seen that very thing going on with these gas prices, too.
Yeah.
So it's a really good point. Okay, so yesterday there was a tornado that really did some damage in Nebraska.
Yes,
This video, we'll show you the video in just a moment, but we thought, so Abby, our producer, has a friend who basically got stuck for a while in Nebraska as things were really turning kind of tense.
Yeah, tornadoes are vicious. You don't want to be caught in any of that. This is Kaylee Eisen joining us this morning. Good morning, Kaylee. Glad to see you're okay, but what a terrifying experience that had to have been.
Yeah, so it was quite the night. I got into Phoenix this morning pretty early, but I went to the airport last night. I was just visiting some family, some graduation parties out there, and was dropped off at the airport last night around like 5. And then a couple hours later, you could kind of see all the clouds in the sky, and I'm obviously not from there. I'm from Phoenix, so seeing all that was a little scary. We were just waiting for the plane, and then all the warnings started going off, so we were taking shelter down in the basement for, I'd say, about an hour or so, waiting for planes. Everything was delayed, and we all waited there for quite some time last night for planes to come, but I had never experienced something like that. It was intense, for sure.
We do have the video that Sean Waugh, with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, just happened to be driving through the farmlands. Now, my understanding is the worst of this tornadic outbreak was all the way. So you're going to tell us your whole story from the airport in Omaha, but the most violent storms were all the way out quite a bit further west in the state. And so this must have really been something, you must have felt somewhat like you were just surrounded by it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was, I didn't really have access to much internet when we were down there, so it was kind of a little bit ominous, just waiting for all the updates, and TSA was down there with us. We could feel the building shaking, and, definitely a scary moment, but luckily everyone was okay at the airport, and we all figured out our flights and stuff, but I'm glad we don't have tornadoes in Arizona. That's all I can say.
Like, did sirens go off through?
There were, yeah. We could hear some sirens. All of our phones were going off, and then the warnings throughout the entire airport were continuously going off as well.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is terrifying.
Yeah. Were people pretty calm about it when you're down there in the basement?
Yeah, I would say it was like a 50-50 thing. I think some of the people that were from there definitely were a little bit calmer, but you have a lot of out-of-towners there, so it was late. I could feel there's a little bit of anxiety when we're all sitting down there, and you don't know what's happening, so that's scary.
Okay, what was the basement like? I'm envisioning like
there's just a stairwell. So you're up by the gates, and then there's a stairwell that takes you down to the basement. It's like a metal chamber, essentially, and everyone's sitting down at the bottom underneath the staircase. I think there's at least 4 of them, I believe, in the airport, but I was in one of them, so everyone from my side of the airport kind of shuffled in there, and then we all just sat there and waited. But
how many people did you say?
The doors were locked. You just kind of sit there and wait. In my area, there's probably 50 people.
Oh, okay. I was thinking a lot more, but...
And were they pulling people off of planes? I was, sometimes you get out on a plane and you're out on a tarmac and you're like, oh, we're going to be stuck here for a while. Could you look out and see that there were planes that were sitting out there really with nowhere to go? Or had
luckily at that point, so it was getting, by the time all the warnings were going off, they had already grounded all the planes. There was none coming in or out for a while. So no one was out there. They kind of figured that one out before. I know my plane was grounded in Wichita, Kansas for a little while, but the last ones that left were probably like 45 minutes to an hour before all the warnings were going off.
Well, I hope your friends appreciate everything you went through just to go congratulate them for graduation, honestly.
Right.
Well, it was unexpected. I don't know how, I guess it's pretty rare, but, I just happened to be there during that time.
Good. And so you were how late getting into Phoenix? Like a couple hours, 3, 4, what?
I had a connecting flight in Denver, so I tried to sleep on the Denver airport floor last night. So I got in this morning around 8 a.m. It's been a long night.
Yeah, so delayed overnight. Yeah, that's rough. Right. Well, we're glad you're okay. And yeah, those tornadoes, they're unpredictable.
I want to mess with them for sure.
Yeah, their paths, wild.
All right, Kaylee, thank you very much. Glad everything's fine.